Welcome back to the Baller of Fire channel. Yes, we're going to talk about something that I think needs to be discussed. Well, I want to talk about the NBA expansion. And in my opinion, the target could be the SLB. Now, if you don't know, I watched this YouTube channel recently called Basketball News. And Basket News. Basket News brought us info on the NBA in talks to expand the league into Europe. It was the ex-commissioner of the NBA that he wanted, I think his name's Howard Stern, he wanted to bring the league to Europe. They give their take, if you watch the YouTube channel, it's a good video, they give their take on the NBA expansion into Europe and how the EuroLeague will be affected. I mean, if you guys could check out the video, I think it would be a great idea. But basically, what it comes down to is how is the NBA going to compete with an already established league, such as the EuroLeague. The EuroLeague is known in Europe mostly, except for the UK, I would believe. But Europe, the EuroLeague is very big in Europe. It's got a lot of teams and it's well established. It's been around for quite a long time. So the conversation is a bit tricky. However, Europe probably won't know about the SLB because it's not on their radar. So I'll start with this. The British Federation, now the chief of the BBF, Chris Grant, he was in talks with FIBA, which is a big deal because back in the day in the UK, FIBA didn't really communicate with the BBF as well, but now they're communicating a lot better. They're talking about strengthening their relationships and working on basketball foundations and something else. Yes, something else. When I first heard this report from hoopfix.com, I didn't think anything of it. As anybody else, working on building the foundation that's great for UK basketball, I didn't think anything of it. But when I watched that video from Basket News talking about the expansion, that something else besides the NBA has, they said they're going to start ramping up the activity. That's what the NBA said, ramping up the activity to work in the UK, as reported by Guardian and Hoopfix. It has me ask a lot of questions, but the answers make all too much sense. First, in my opinion, why would the NBA want the SLB? It makes no sense to a lot of people. They could have an already established league within Europe. Why would they want the SLB? Well, first, the SLB is a reformatted league. After the British Basketball League went into administration, the SLB was formed, meaning that the league still needs investment. Here comes the NBA with more than a substantial amount of investment. Now, I don't think teams would take the investment, but, it's definitely needed. And teams will look into, obviously. And if they wanted to, they could buy the league and establish their own teams. Second, the SLB aren't strangers to working with the NBA. We already have the NBA G League players as well as NBA shareholders. This means that a lot of knowledge of the SLB is already known to the NBA. And so, if any league in Europe would have an easy transition, that would be the SLB. And we used to have a commissioner who was close with Disney and close with the NBA name, Aaron Radin, I believe that's his name. So we have a lot of people in and around the British basketball scene that work for the NBA. Now, why would the NBA go to Britain? Well, let's look at it. Britain is an English-speaking country. It will be an easy transition for any American who wants to develop themselves in Europe, and also it will be an easy product to market to Americans because it's in an English-speaking country. Secondly, all the teams that are part of the NBA Europe scene will still be able to enter EuroLeague, strengthening the partnership. Instead of being competitors, there will be rivals, which means that you can still have a decent NBA European team because the European team will be in UK, but the European teams that are in the UK based on NBA Europe would also enter into the EuroLeague to win that too, to be the best of them all. So the NBA being the gateway into America, because if you look at the plane tickets from London, I believe, to New York, it's around 3 to 5 hours. And so if you want to get to America, it's quite easy. Whereas you want to get into Europe from America, like I said, 3 to 5 hours, and then it's about an hour to 2 hours journey from London to France. So there is an easy transition, and because the UK sits in the middle of both America and Europe, I believe that it will be easier for America, the NBA, to come to the UK and set up shop in the UK. There's so much shops already open, and they know that there's a market here which is undeveloped, as in a lot of people play basketball but do not have a place to go. That is an untapped market for the NBA, and they can easily excel in this country. So with that, I would say the NBA has a good chance of basically buying the SLB. One thing is, the NBA do not believe in a promotion or relegation. Relegation. But they said to Basket News is something they are discussing. In the Premier League and in rugby sports, there is a promotion and relegation. This is in British sports, and many of the British fans in the UK have been arguing with their British basketball for a long time about promotion and relegation, and so they will add some more excitement into the league and also add some more foundational basketballs players, because it will trickle money down to a small amount of teams that haven't got a lot of money, and with that they can coach and train young players at a high level. So it will be a good idea for the NBA to establish itself within the UK. It will be easier for them to make a product, to talk to people, to advertise, and to go onto the European continent if they were stationed in the UK. But it's just a theory. We don't know if they're gonna actually do that. But I would think they would, because it makes a lot of sense to me, in my opinion. But they might not do that. My brother, he says to himself that he doesn't want to see the SLB get too commercialized by the NBA, as he wants it to stand alone as a separate thing, being a British league. I understand that, but I did say to him, with the NBA, it will bring a lot of attention to Britain, and it will also increase the notoriety and more players who are out there, who are gifted, who are talented, to come and start their careers in NBA. And we could have an NBA player moving to America, which will be the gateway. At the end of the day, the NBA is the NBA for a reason. It takes players from Europe, from anywhere in the world, and brings them to the NBA in America. That's why the NBA can say they're the world's best, because they literally have players that stem from all over the world. They never used to be, but now it is. So, yes, that's my theory, guys. Tell me if you think I'm correct. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I don't know, but it's my theory that UK is probably one of the best prospects for the NBA to start up the NBA Europe team. My question is this: if they do it, would the NFL follow? Because the NFL has arguably a bigger fan following in Europe. But I don't think that will be possible, because rugby is massive here as well. Not as big as football, and obviously that means soccer if you're in the US. But yeah. Anyway, guys, until my next video, peace.